Warning, the show you're about to hear contains strong sexual adult content, situations, and other material you may find offensive. If you are under 18 or easily offended, please leave now. For everyone else, please stay tuned for Real Talk Lifestyle.
Hi, welcome to Real Talk. We're your hosts,
I'm Rob.
and I'm Sarah. Please join us as we discuss the swinging lifestyle.
Welcome to Real Talk Lifestyle, coming to you live from our place studios in Omaha, Nebraska. I am Rob, and I am joined with my co-host, Sarah.
Good evening, everybody.
We want to thank everybody for tuning in, those on YouTube, SLS Radio, and all the other formats that we've got going. For those tuning in, you can go ahead and get your chat going, get those turned in. We got some questions we're going to be answering tonight, and we're going to be doing a little bit of chit-chat, and I think tonight's topic I got vetoed on. I want to do the vagina diaries, and Sarah told me, nope, not going to happen tonight. So we decided we would do a topic of separate room swinging versus same room swinging, and this is more of an advanced level for those that are in the lifestyle that have been doing this for a long time and or have reached that comfort level and are ready to take that step. So we thought we would discuss what it's like to do separate room swinging, what all that entails, and how to discuss the boundaries and things to make sure that you're ready to go to that level. So I guess we will let you start off tonight, Sarah. Now, I didn't know if you had any stories or any new thingies or
No,
anything.
I didn't.
Nobody's doing any weird freaky stuff.
Shit lately. No,
Yeah.
sorry.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't have anything news
Okay.
story related.
Well, other than that, I'm going to enjoy my martini. I'm a little under the weather. I probably shouldn't be drinking this, but I've been running a fever and it just kind of broke, so I figured, why not? But
I figured, that's a huge mistake.
Yeah, I know, but it tastes so good.
Not later it will.
Yeah, I know. But I'll let you go ahead and start. Why don't you tell everybody the basic principle of separate room swinging?
Okay. Separate room swinging is basically when you and your partner are comfortable going into different rooms and not being in the same room when you're swapping partners. Like he said, it's more of a advanced level. I didn't realize we had steps, but I guess there are.
Well, there's always those building steps.
Yeah.
We kind of start, with the very basics, and we try to take every podcast episode and build the levels, and I think we kind of jumped a little bit up higher than, because we're still like on the training blocks right now, but I think we kind of jumped some steps just to go to a thing, but we want to hit on all realms. So I figured, tonight, why not do one on that? I mean, I don't see a whole lot, especially at our place, I don't see a whole lot of separate room swinging. I see a little bit of it, but I notice, I don't know if it's like the norm, but for some couples, this goes great, especially if you meet a couple and there might not be attractions on both sides.
Right.
You could always say, well, I'm interested in your partner, but my partner's not interested in yours. So for things like that, separate room swinging would be great. Or for those that are looking to enhance their sexual health or well-being, or however you want to put it, by doing that. And it's more of an adventure level of, okay, you're going to go in a bedroom, I'm going to go in a bedroom, and we're going to go in and play, and then when we're done, we'll tell each other about what all happened at the end, the end of that experience.
Well, and I've found that people who are ready to separate room swap have actually been in the lifestyle for quite a while. It's not something that they've just jumped into. It's something that basically they went through all the other levels. They've just decided that they don't really have to be there in order for things to happen, and it becomes more about their partner's enjoyment, I think, and whether their partner will.
Well, yeah, it does take off the level of, sometimes if you're in a room with another couple and you're so focused on your partner instead of what you're doing, it takes all that focus off of that, so you can kind of enjoy with what you're doing in the moment, and you're not focused on what's going and what's going on with your own partner as well. So I mean that's another benefit to it as well.
And I've also found that sometimes the separate swinging room tends to go hand in hand with the hot wife thing. Not even the hot wife thing, but there's couples who are in the lifestyle, but maybe one partner has been there, done that, and is willing to step back and let their other partner enjoy themselves, which leads into also a lot of open marriages, open relationships. A lot of that goes in with the separate swinging. A lot of them just, have maybe not, maybe they just can't perform anymore and have decided to let their other partners go and have their fun. Or they're perfectly fine with their partner. They really don't want to be in the lifestyle anymore, so they tend to let their other half, who still wants to be in it, go and do their thing. So it's really a level depending on where your relationship's at that point in time. But like I said, I've noticed it's more for people who've been in the lifestyle a long time and have been there, done that, and also are very confident in their relationship that they're willing to let that other partner go and enjoy themselves and experience, what they want to experience. Because you're right, it is a way more freeing experience without having to worry about what another partner's going to say. And at the end of the night, when you go home and depending whether that partner wants to know what you're doing or not, they may want you to relate what happened in that room, or they may not. It just depends, But I think it allows you to be able to do what you want without worrying if another partner is going to be upset or feelings are going to get hurt and things of that nature.
Yeah, it's definitely not built for people with jealousy issues or people that are not at those levels and just ready to take steps like that. So again, that's why we say this is more of an advanced thing. There is different benefits to the different levels of swinging. Like Sarah said, sometimes partners can't perform anymore, medical issues, different reasons, things like that. So there are different benefits to the lifestyle to enhance the quality of sexual health and things like that.
And marriage, too.
Yeah, and marriage. So, and we always talk about, the benefits of all this, and we preach to education because, believe it or not, this is educational. It's not just a bunch of people getting together and just having all this wild sex things. That's where the misconceptions come in with the whole thing of swinging and the lifestyle. There's just so many different avenues and aspects to it that it is empowering to people, and it is also a way to better your sexual health.
Right, and I think we have said that swinging, if you're looking for a fixture marriage, it may not fix, but people at this level who are willing to go this step actually might save their marriage. I mean, it might, help in the fact that, it keeps the couple together, because if one partner can't do something, then it does help keep that marriage together, because then that person can, still stay married to that same person and still have that not physical intimacy, but that, the emotional intimacy that they would maybe not get in another relationship, but, and they still love their partner. It's just that, different reasons in life have made it to where that can't be, the physical intimacy can't be possible anymore.
Right.
And it actually can save a marriage. I mean, I've seen people that, do that because they still love each other. They just can't perform the other half of the marriage. So it does help, but you got to remember the people that are doing this, first of all, have already worked out their jealousy issues, have already, had all those talks, and we're talking years and years and years of doing this and being in the lifestyle to where they're actually at a level where they can do this. I think we're at that level where we don't have to be in the same room with each other.
Mm-hmm.
I like doing the couple thing, but you don't always get that either, because if, like he said, you may not be interested in the other half, or one partner might be more interested in you sleeping with somebody else than they are with participating, which I think we're kind of at that level where we're more into that aspect of it. But we've been in this for
20 years.
20 years, yeah. So this isn't something we've just jumped into. This is something we've evolved to, and that's what we're talking about, evolution in the lifestyle. You're going to evolve depending on how long you want to stay in the lifestyle, whether you want to only do this for a few years or if you want to stay in it for the long haul. It just depends, but it's going to evolve eventually. And maybe eventually, it hasn't for us, but maybe it'll peter out or you'll slow down in the lifestyle. It just, everything depends on where you're at and, how your relationship is at that point in time in your life. Are we having technical difficulties?
No, I think we're caught up on the second screen there. We do have a question that came in from Ashley. It says, "Good evening. Would you say then that open relationships are the same as separate room swinging?"
No, they're not. But it can go in hand with the open relationship thing. But it's not necessarily the same thing. The same thing, the separate swinging is basically just where you are willing to go in another room without your partner.
Right.
The open relationship is where the one partner may not even be in the lifestyle, or you each have your own girlfriends or boyfriends or things like that, and are willing to maybe even have a separate relationship on the side. So they're totally different concepts, but they can go hand in hand because you don't necessarily need that partner there for that, for those, for that sexual activity to occur.
Right. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember one of the instances of the very first time we ever did the whole separate room thing. It's been so long ago.
It's a long time ago. I remember the feeling of it. I was terrified, I think, when I first started doing it, because I was so... You do get used to your partner being there, so you do...
it's a comfort thing.
It's a comfort thing, yeah, and to go out your comfort level does terrify you the first time.
But did you... once you were in there and you kind of got caught in the moment, I'm pretty sure that probably...
It made it easier.
Did it?
Yeah, I would say, because you're not sitting there going, okay, if I do this, are they going to get upset, or... it does make you more honest about your experience, I think, than if your partner is there. Sometimes an experience may not be the best, but you'll ham it up because you want your partner to think it's hot and sexy.
You talk about the whole actressing thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've all probably done that. Well, that's taking one from the team type of thing.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I think
it's easier. It's easier for guys to be able to tend to sleep with somebody that they're like, yeah, she's okay. But I think for women, we need more of a physical attractability. I'm not saying guys don't need that, but I'm saying I've seen. Let's be honest, guys. You've slept with some ugly chicks that you would never tell your friends about, and you still were able to do it. For women, it's very hard to get in that moment.
Well, that kind of escalated quickly.
What?
Well, I
Oh my gosh! You cannot tell me. How about when I first met you and that ugly girl from next door ran over and she's like fawning, "I love you."
Well.
And I said, "Why does she like you?" I said, "You obviously have no interest in her." He goes, "Oh God, I made the stupid mistake of I got drunk one night and slept with her." And he goes, "No, I never would again." But
Well, yeah, I mean, that's why we say, there has to be attraction levels too. But then again, there's a lot of people that get into the swinging just for the experiences, and they don't get all caught up on the looks and things like that. I mean, they're happy to.
I'm not even saying looks.
I know,
I've been
but
attracted to a guy because of a personality.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There
I
has
mean,
to be something
people
like there.
people can sit there and have a conversation with them and find them interesting enough to go, I wouldn't mind doing something with them. He's not necessarily somebody I would in my day-to-day thing, but he's kind of interesting. And
you ever thought that? He's kind of...
well, I'm not into guys,
right.
but
Well, you said he's kind of...
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's really that's really all I mean I can say about that. I mean, there's different things for different experiences and things like that. But so what else do you got on the subject?
I catch me off guard.
Well, hey,
You should have done the pussy thing, huh?
Well, I had a whole routine worked out for that.
Yeah,
I was
I
going to
know.
do, and I mean,
I was just kind of worried about the copyright thing, but
there would have been no copyright issue. I would have gave credit to the comedian that did it and all that.
Right.
But we still got quite a bit of airtime to fill tonight, so I'm going to let you go ahead and expand on it. I'm going to step back here and talk to the producer and see what we got going on here. But go ahead.
oh my gosh. I'm at a loss, people. I'm sorry. Yeah, the separate swap. We've had some okay experiences and then some bad ones. I like I said, the first time I was terrified, and
Well, why don't you share what a bad experience would have been for you, I guess? Because you don't really, you're so quiet, you don't really ever
for me,
expand
a
on.
bad experience is that I think it's going to go great, and it winds up, I don't necessarily find a attraction to the gentleman. Where you said, you went in and you think that they might not be what you have your day-to-day, and then you get into the room and you find out that bedroom-wise you're not compatible at all, or they can't perform, which is one of the other things that naturally sometimes can happen a lot, especially if they're drinking beforehand.
I think we should do like a top 10 list of, like problems and things. Because that seems to be like on that top 10 list, the things we always hear is the whole they can't perform thing. Maybe we could like compile a list of 1 through 10, how like they do on one of those talk shows at night where they do the top 10 list reasons, and we can kind of expand on different things like that. But I noticed that seems to be like one of the biggest ones.
I think another one of my big ones is that you get into the room and you think that you're going to have sex with this person, and then it turns into being about them. Like you think you're gonna have intercourse, and then the dude's like, "Well, let's keep doing what you're doing." And, I just want a blowjob.
I just want a blowjob.
Well, you're sitting there going, "Okay, you think it's gonna be something more." Or the one I love is they knew they went in the room just for a blowjob, but they'll make you go through all of that. Don't even tell you when they're close to you finishing, and then you're asked out. To me, that is one of the top 10.
Well, I have a theory on that, and I kind of told you that Saturday night. Why I think that is, but
I think that could be a very valid point.
It is.
Do you want to share your theory?
Well, my theory is okay. So, case in point, I'm not going to say what month or what night this
when it's
happened. Yeah. But there was an experience where you had met someone, and you kind of he talked to you, spent half the evening with you, and then ended up getting a massage, and it kind of went into the whole intimate thing, and you could just kind of tell by the way he was touching you
that it was a tentative thing.
It was like, okay, you could clearly tell the guy was married or had somebody that did not know he was here. And the way he was touching you, it was like, okay,
if I get oral, that's not considered cheating.
right.
If I do light touching, then you can't really consider cheating.
Yeah.
If I don't kiss that person, then it's fine. If I don't have sex with that person,
Yeah.
then it's fine. The other thing is, after the fact, they'll go something like, well, I have somebody that I really want to bring here that I've been trying to get to come here, but we're just friends.
And I don't know if I'll actually get him to come,
Or we're just friends. Or, I want them to be my girlfriend, but we're just friends right now. And you're like, yeah, okay, what? You can't convince the wife to come and join
Right.
you.
But
So,
I mean,
yeah.
that is a huge letdown to the ladies, especially when they're looking to play as well. It's not always about, okay, guys, give what you want and then leave the female hanging. And I'm not even saying it's just you, because I know it's happened to other people as well.
And I'm not saying that, ladies we don't like to give blowjobs. I mean, if the mood strikes us and it's right, then yes, they can be fun. But we also want something beyond that. If we're just in the mood to give a blowjob, then that's great. But if you're looking for something beyond that, it's a huge letdown to know that you put that time and effort into somebody, and then by the time it comes around, it's too late to find somebody else to play with because
Right.
You've spent half your time with one certain person.
Yeah. Well, and I know, I mean, for me,
It's a huge letdown for you.
Yeah, I mean, watching the whole experience, I mean, because here I got that little bit of build up, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, well, look at her, she's, doing her thing, and she's going to have some fun tonight. And then you come back, 4 hours later after you just invested all this time, and you're like, he just wanted to do this, and then, the dude just did this. And I'm like, oh, wow, that was a total waste of your time, my time, and
Well, and especially you ask him. I know it seems like I ooze this sexuality, I guess, which
You don't?
Ask him. It takes a lot for me to come out of my comfort zone and
It
put
does.
myself out there just to even do it. And when you, I think the harder it is for you to do, it's an even bigger letdown because you're like, I actually tried and I actually,
Well, but the thing I noticed though, and I've got a question that's going to come up here in a little while that I'm going to read off for you to answer.
Okay.
But I noticed, as long as you just be yourself and you walk around with just confidence and just have fun and not overthink things, you seem to do a lot better than when you're like, okay, I got to carry myself this way, and it does the way you carry yourself affects the way you protrude out to other people.
Well,
So
yeah.
I mean, like for me, when I walk through the place, I'm just here to have a great time. And it's like we tell people, if something happens, great. If it doesn't, whatever, but at least you've made friends and things like that. So when I'm walking around and talking to people, I just walk around with no expectations, and I'm just like here to have a good time. And I think that really works for me. I don't need to get all that validation and stuff, I guess,
I
for
don't
me.
think it's not even an expectation thing.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's the confidence to actually get up and do it.
Well,
And
I know
me
for you-
personally, I will tend to go below what's probably.
Well, and that's what I don't get about you.
I will go with somebody that he'll go, why did you go
Well,
with
yeah,
that
because-
one? They're below your, what I know you're even looking for.
Well, yeah, because I noticed that you struggle a lot with the confidence thing, which
Yeah.
drives me nuts, because if you would just drop that and just be yourself and just, have fun and not overthink things, you'd be a lot better than, because you seem to overthink everything. And
Oh,
that's
yes.
what kills you with the confidence thing. you know, I have a lot of people that tell me, you know, you're very sexy, you're very attractive. We've had a lot of viewers that have written in, and you know, they're like, you know, this woman's sexy, she's very attractive, you're very outgoing. I think a lot of times you just tend to overthink things, and that kind of holds you back.
Maybe, and honestly, it goes back to the separate room swap. I'm actually, if I go below what I, you know, am ultimately probably looking for, I tend to be more comfortable separate swapping. But if I go in the room with somebody I think is totally hot and is totally out of my league, I get petrified or so nervous. And
Oh, I mean, to me, that's just ridiculous. I mean,
I know.
If you got somebody that's like totally hot, you know, that should be the focus at the moment.
I suppose. I think the ones that are not totally hot tend to maybe make you feel sexier.
Well, I guess I just like for me. I mean, if I'm with a really attractive woman, I just look at it as like, okay, you know, she's a very attractive person. I'm gonna enjoy the moment. I'm gonna have fun with it. I'm not gonna overthink it. Versus, you know, the whole level of confidence and just the whole different aspects of that. I mean, we're all here for the same reasons. You know, it just the confidence thing. You just have to push that out there and just let that work for you.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because you are very attractive. You don't need me to tell you that. You just you have to believe it yourself.
Right.
You know, so that's where I can really say about that. So, what else can you really expand on with the separate room? I mean, I know there's not a lot we can really hit on with that.
First of all, not only the
We don't want the boobie popping out.
not only the attractiveness, but I think comfortability. Sometimes it may take you being able to talk to somebody a few times before you feel comfortable separate swapping with somebody else. And even if you are at that level, sometimes it does have a lot to do with being comfortable with those people that you're thinking of taking into a room. So therefore, again, it might be you know, people that you've talked to on quite a few occasions before you're willing to make that step. Another thing that you always think of is, okay, what if you're so used to having your partner in that room that if something goes wrong, you rely on your partner a lot to stop maybe something that could happen.
Well, and that's when you have to say, okay, I don't have that person here to do that. This is on me.
Right.
And you have to be able to be assertive and say, okay, if something's bothering me, then I have to say something instead of just going along with it. I mean, and that's one thing I always try to instill in you, that if I'm not around, you have to be assertive and just not allow something to happen to you that you want. Because
I'm saying that's one major fear, or at least for females anyway, of separate swapping is the fact that, okay, what if I get in a room with this person and something is occurring that I don't like, and you do have to, you know, like you said, prepare yourself for that fact, because it is you in a room with somebody else. And you do have to be assertive enough to be able to say, you know, hey, I'm not comfortable with this, or hey, I'm done, this is over,
Yeah.
you know.
that goes back to that whole thing, you know, the golden rule. No means no.
No means no. And the other thing I like about these type of settings in a club, where there is always somebody you can run to and say, hey, or, you know, these rooms most are made easily accessible to be able to get in and out of, and somebody to be able to, you know, be there for your safety. I'd say the best thing if you're going to do a separate swap is, you know, either you're really super comfortable with that person, or you do it in a setting like this at a club where you know that somebody will have your back.
Yeah, and I mean, and that goes back to, you know, at the beginning of the night, you're sitting at a table talking to that person, you know, you're kind of
trying to feel out their vibe.
You're filling out that person, but you also have that opportunity to discuss your boundaries and things like that, in case you do decide to go, okay, I'm going to go off with this person here. You've already kind of laid out what your expectations are and your goals are.
True.
And just got to make sure you don't deviate from something like that.
True, but again, sometimes you just never know, until you actually get in there. You can discuss boundaries, but it's still, every situation's different.
Well, it is, but if somebody doesn't, accept those boundaries and they want to do something they're not supposed to, then the consequences of that is, hey, guess what? You just got yourself kicked out of a place. You're never going to be coming back.
Right.
So, who wants to cause an issue like that? Because
True.
Believe it or not, that's one thing a lot of these places do not play with. You break a rule and you're done. There's no second chances. There's no, oh, we're sorry, don't do it again. You break a rule, you're done.
Right.
So, I guess it'd be a good time to jump in real quick. Let's go ahead and talk about one of our sponsors real quick. We are sponsored by Adam and Eve here in Omaha, Nebraska. We do have a promo code set up with them. We will be able to get you 15% off. You need to call us or email us and we'll get that code. They do have a website for their Omaha store. Now this is exclusively for the Omaha store only right now. We are working with them to get some more stuff set up with them. But we highly recommend that you go to the Adam and Eve store located on 84th Street. The address is up there listed. For those that are listening to us on SL Radio, really won't matter to you guys, but Adam and Eve is a nationwide company, so you can always go online and check out their products as well. But those that are local to where we are in Omaha, Nebraska, you can always go to omaha.adamevestores.com, and you can also go on Google and search them for their Omaha store, and you can check out all their products. But I highly recommend that you go to the store itself. It's a great experience from the time you arrive to the time you leave. We will be having them out here shortly, and they will be featuring some products and doing some exclusive deals and things like that. So we look forward to having them out here at our place. For those that are interested, we talk about our place quite a bit. We broadcast out of their studios here. Our place is a lifestyle venue located in Omaha, Nebraska. And that website address for those that are interested in checking us out and that might be coming to Omaha, Nebraska is just www.ourplaceomaha.com. You can go there. They got a great website that's very informative. Can give you a lot of information on the lifestyle venue. And you can get a list of all their upcoming events and things like that. Other than that, that's about all I got for that. I know we do have a new Twitter account, and we've gotten some new followers in the week since we just announced that.
Nice.
So our Twitter account for Real Talk Lifestyle is just R Talk Lifestyle. So that if you go to Twitter and if you're familiar with Twitter, I had to look up this whole tweeting thing, but it's at R Talk Lifestyle, just the letter R and then Talk Lifestyle. That'll get you on with our Twitter page, and you can follow us and play along. I know we had talked about getting some photos up of you here. We kind of got that on hold right now. I know you got some stuff going on with your personal life, so so once that gets dealt with, we'll revisit getting some photos up with that. I know you really didn't want to talk about it, but my wife's mom is not doing very well, so she's going to be out of town this week. Her mom is going to be moved to hospice care in South Dakota, and you're going to be leaving Wednesday to go up and spend some time with her.
Yeah.
And Yeah. So I mean, I know it's a difficult time right now, and I really don't want to talk about it because I know you're gonna kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so for those that are gonna be out this weekend, Sarah will not be here because she's gonna be dealing with some family stuff, and we just want her to know that we love you, and there's a lot of people thinking about you, and just take the time you need, and
Okay, let's move on.
yeah, we'll go ahead and move on. So we're only like 35 minutes in tonight.
Hey, you posted your Wednesday 30
Hey, you
minutes,
told me that you could really stretch out separate room swinging.
We did. We made it to 30 minutes.
Yeah,
so,
well,
I mean,
usually, most of our topics we can stretch out in a whole hour, and
depends.
so I'm trying to think of what else. Do we have any questions or anything like that? I know we're having some issues with that. Do we have anybody even tuned in?
Tuned in.
Well, I guess why don't we go ahead and
Questions.
we'll jump into a question here.
Okay.
And tonight's questions are sponsored by.
Okay.
Everything's sponsored by our place. So it says, thanks for sharing your experiences and expertise with all of us through your podcast. So this question here is, how does a couple handle it when they are not interested, but the other couple doesn't seem to pick up on that and tags along throughout the evening? I think we kind of touched on this on a different podcast.
Is it a predator couple?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't want to say just the predator
Because
couple.
some of them just don't.
Some people just don't
Are
get
clueless.
it. They might be a little clingy, and they're like, okay, we're putting it out there.
They might
They're
be clueless
talking
and
to
not
us.
pick up.
Well, yeah, and they're talking to us, so we might think there's an interest there that's not. But I guess for you, how would you handle it if you're dealing with a couple and you're just trying to get away and you want to be nice about it, and they're just not getting the hints that you're just not interested? And I'll give my view on it as well.
You can go the. I'm not saying there's a polite way to put it, and I'm not saying the blunt way. You could go the way, say, we're just really not comfortable playing right now.
It might not even get to that level of talking about playing, but
No.
how do you just, okay, there's so many people at the place that you want to get around and talk to, but you kind of have these people that are tagged up against you. How do you...
And I've noticed other couples, when they're tired of talking to somebody and they have done this, they're like, okay, well, we're going to get up and go here. And they tend to get up and go to another room, or either that, or they'll say, hey, we're supposed to be meeting somebody, or we see somebody we know would like to talk to, or so they've done it that way. There are ways to do it, and I guess if after all of that they still don't get it, you can always go back to the old standby of, we're just really not interested. And sometimes it takes being blunt, but for the most part, I think if the polite way does work, if it's still not to the point where they're getting it, I think it's just better to be truthful.
I think for me, I'm just blunt, so I would just kind of approach it as, we came out tonight just to enjoy the evening out. We really want to get around and talk to a lot of different couples and just kind of see who all we click with.
That's good. That's
And,
that's a nice way to do it too.
We can always say, hey, it's great meeting you guys, and we wouldn't mind talking to you again in the future, but tonight we just really want to focus on getting around and talking to different people and getting up and meeting people, because that's kind of what we came out to do tonight. That way it doesn't lead you into expectations, and it's not holding you up at a table with somebody that you're just, there's no chemistry, you're just not interested in doing anything or pursuing anything with. We do got another question. It says, if you meet a couple and you're interested in playing with the husband, how do you approach the wife? I want to answer this one.
You should, because I have the worst time with this one, so you go ahead.
Honestly, if a couple and I'm not saying that the husband's bi or anything, and I'm not reading into that or anything like that. But what I'm saying is, if you're a couple and the wife is just interested in approaching a husband because she's interested in playing with just that husband, don't feel like you can't go up to the wife and just say, hey, you obviously don't want to say, well, I'm not really interested in the wife, but you can put it out there and just say, I'm not really interested in doing the whole couple swap thing, but I really wouldn't mind approaching and playing with your husband. Would you have a problem with me?
Separate rooms?
Yeah, separate room, or just me playing with the husband by myself. Well, yeah, and I don't think the wives or anybody else are really going to take offense to that. I mean, the worst they're going to say is, no, I'm not comfortable with my husband playing by themselves.
We're
but
not really into that. Or...
Yeah, I mean, the worst they're going to say is, no, we're just not at that level, or we're just not ready for that. But there again, you'll never know until you put it out there. I mean, it's like I tell Sarah, you're never going to know if somebody's interested in you unless you put it out there and just say, hey, I'm interested in you, how are you feeling? Because
I have that issue too.
You kind of stumble with that too, especially when it comes to the couples and you're interested in the husband. So, I mean, you're kind of in that whole thing as well.
Yes.
It's just one of those things. You just got to be honest with the people and just, if you're flirting with the husband, just put it out there,
But also talk to the wife.
Yeah. Just say, I'm not really interested in playing with the wife, or my husband's not really interested in that, but I would really like to play with you. And just kind of see where it goes from there.
I think I did have one wife that didn't seem to really have a problem with it.
Yeah.
She was fine with it. I think it was probably would have to go to a public room for that to occur.
And the wife might just want to sit there and watch,
yeah.
And
I mean, I think the couple that she didn't really have a problem with it, they like to play in the public rooms, which is cool. But actually, I was shocked. I thought it would be, she wouldn't be amenable to it, but she actually was. So I think he's right. Sometimes you just have to kind of just ask.
And I mean, a lot of people probably
say is no.
A lot of people probably don't think it's the norm where just the wives want to play with somebody. And, believe it or not, there are just a lot of wives that want to do things, and the husband just wants to watch, or they want their wife to go out and do things. I mean, it's more acceptable now. It's not always. We always talk about everything is always a couple. Swapping is couple related, but it's not always that. You got to remember, the lifestyle is always evolving and changing. There's nothing written in stone that says everything has to be done this way. Everybody has their own kinks and fetishes and things that interest them and what they want to try and do.
Well, we always look at it on a lot of times we address more the beginner stuff because we get more people that are beginners who do want to know, how do we approach it to where we want to play with the female half?
Yeah.
And that is a good question because people don't think that's the norm, so we don't normally address that. And it is usually for people that are, have, I wouldn't say are more advanced, but, that's typically more what they're looking for.
Yeah.
So we tend to look at the other way of people who are just starting out, but there are people who've been in this a while, or maybe that just was something that they really just want to do instead of the normal.
And there's so many different aspects of the lifestyle. I mean, you got voyeurism, you've got girl on girl, where just the girls want to play and the guys all want to watch.
Right.
You got group play, separate room, same room. I mean, there's just so many different. This is all about playing out fantasies and living out different experience, things that interest you. So don't be afraid to, go out and try different things and talk to people and to say, this is what we're interested in, this is what we want to do. You're obviously out here to have different experiences and try different things. So don't hold yourself back by not attempting these things.
And like you said, I guess the worst thing they can do is say no. And I realize nobody likes rejection, but he's right. You'll never know unless you ask.
Yeah.
So.
You've got people that want to just come out and take their clothes off and walk around in front of different people. There's just so many different things. It would blow your mind at the different things and the people that are into so many different things. We got a guy that's like 60-some years old, and his thing is he wants to be nude in front of everybody. He wants to have fun with it,
Yeah.
It cracks me up, but, I'm like, hey, go for it. You're free. Do what you want,
Yeah.
Go crazy. The stripper pole thing was a little much, but but he had fun with it.
Yeah.
So, hey, like I said, there's no judgment. Just have fun with what you want to do, as long as you're not hurting people or your, self, and doing something that, is not considered, well, I don't want to say considered normal, because, who can say what's normal anymore? But just
considering the trend.
Yeah, just do what, experience different things, try different things, experiment, enjoy yourself, live life, have a good time, and don't look back and don't worry about just nonsense. It's that's the best advice I can give you, is just live life. You have one life. Live your life. Have fun with it. You don't want to be 80 years old and go, man, I wanted to do all this. I wanted to experience all this, and I couldn't let myself go to do it because I was so worried about somebody judging me. Just be yourself. Have fun with it.
Right.
Don't worry about other people. Just, have fun. Don't break the law, but, have fun and enjoy yourself. Enjoy life.
Or if you're going to break the law, don't get caught. No,
Well, no. We don't say that.
But make sure they can't see on that Ferris wheel.
We don't want people to look back later in life and go, there's so much things I wanted to try and do, and I couldn't do it. I was so scared to try things. Just sometimes you just got to put all that stuff, because growing up, you're always instilled with, you have to do things a certain way, and you're so scared of rejection and putting yourself out there. We're adults. Just put yourself out there and have fun with it, life. So our other question here is, and this one's for you.
Okay.
It says, Sarah, you seem to have such an air of confidence, and it's so refreshing. Can you talk about how the lifestyle has affected your self-confidence?
Oh, that is a huge act, folks. I'm not saying it hasn't given me some, but I face the same insecurities with confidence as everybody else does. It's, and if I come off that way, that's great. But I have those same feelings as everybody else. There's times where, like we were just discussing, where I won't approach somebody because I think they're beneath my level, or I'm afraid of getting rejected. Everybody goes through that. The lifestyle has helped me a little bit. Actually, this is, being a host and hostess and doing the podcast has actually made us less introverted, and it does make us more extroverted. We do have to talk to people. We do have to relate to different people. There would be people that before, when we would go to clubs, we wouldn't even think of approaching or talking to, and now we do have to do that. But we also have to push ourselves a little each and every time to become more secure with ourselves, because we still struggle with that. I know I do, and I know he does.
Don't tell people that.
It's the truth. If I come off really confident, then that's great.
Though, honestly,
it has. I'm probably more confident than I was quite a few years ago. So,
but you notice, honestly, at the right time, people catch you off guard, where you're just standing there carrying on a conversation with them, where they come up, and you drop the whole guard, and you're just yourself for that one moment. And I know where this question came from. So like when you're talking, especially watching you with the couple that you were talking with, there was no guard about you. You were just yourself, and there was no, oh God, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not want to say there was like an expectation or anything there, but you were like your genuine self, and you were just, hey, this is me, and you didn't have a guard about you.
I'll tell you why. The first of all, the people that we're talking about don't. I mean, you feel it's okay to be genuine with those people, and you'll meet some that the reason you are able to exude confidence is because you feel that you're able to be yourself around those type of people. They want your honesty. They want your openness, because they're generally interested in you as a person, and you can tell by talking to people if they're really interested in you as a person, as to what kind of presentation they want you to make. There are some that just don't care about the real you. They like the facade. They like the.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not. I mean, I really am a genuine person, and what you see is pretty much what you get. I
just wish I could get more of that all the time, especially on the weekends. Because, like I said, I think you overthink things so much instead of just being yourself and just enjoying yourself and having fun. You're always, okay, it's this, and this, instead of just. Maybe. This is who I am. I'm having fun. I'm not going to overthink anything. I'm me. Take me or leave me. You like me or you don't. And if you do, great. You're going to have a good time, and you're going to get the golden ticket.
That is kind of different also, though, because as club owners, we are required to be a certain way at all times. You might feel the crappiest that you've ever felt, and you're open. You have to be that enchanting, engaging person, because they don't care if you're sick, or they don't care. I mean,
all they want is the place to go and have a good time,
right? And your staff and you had better be on top of stuff and better be on point. They don't want to see you upset. They don't want to see you have a bad day, even though everybody has one.
Yeah.
They don't want to see that, because it's all about selling, a product. And I'm not saying that. I mean, we bust our asses off to make sure that our guests feel comfortable. Whether we feel like it that day or not doesn't really matter. Let's be honest. You don't get a bad Google review in most social situations if you fail.
And that's the thing too. I want to reiterate to everybody, if you're not coming out and supporting these places and going to them frequently,
they'll fail. They're
not going to be around.
No.
And you're going to be like, oh, why did this place close? Well, you know what? You're not going there. You're not supporting the place.
True.
We all have bills. We have to pay for all this stuff. But if you're not supporting the place, they can't stay open. So, tell your friends, tell everybody that goes to these places, you've got to support them, or they're not going to be around.
They're not going to be around.
That's why a lot of these places close,
after a few years, because they just can't make it.
So, it's just like going to a great restaurant. If people don't go there and support it all the time, poof, you're there one day, you're gone the next.
That's true.
You got to have those people supporting the places, or you just don't have a place to go to anymore.
Nope.
So, but like I said, with you have those rare moments where
I think everything it's the people you're around, though, too.
Yeah, you have those rare moments where I'll just catch you, and I'm like, wow, that's the girl I married. She's amazing. She's great. It's none of this. I'm guarded. I just want to walk through here and not be seen. Right. And that's when you're the most genuine, and that's when people are drawn to you, and it's like you are attractive. You're very outgoing when you want to be. but there again, you go back to the whole thing of overthinking everything, and
maybe.
Well, there's no maybe. You know it as well as I do.
Okay.
There's a lot of times you overthink it. Well, I'm not pretty enough for this guy, or that, or this and that, and that's your nervous little thing.
No, my leg is actually itching. Okay.
Like I said, that's why. And I mean, I could tell you all day long just to be yourself, but until you get that, you'll never do it. But there are times, and maybe it is just the certain people you're around, but
I think it
but
definitely
I mean,
is.
I know that couple is so down to earth.
They are.
And they're just so, I mean, they're outgoing, and I mean, it just oozes off them, and I don't know if it just makes you that way around them, but
they're very welcoming people, and that's the
but
thing.
you are,
no, so I guess.
But you are as well, and
yeah.
I think you should be that way all the time, regardless of what's going on.
I try to be that way with people all the time.
Yeah, but there's a lot of times, I mean, you may get one thing, and it's like, okay, you'll go see over there, and it's like way different, and it's just, like I said, I know it, you feed off the feedback from them and how they are, but that's where your confidence comes into play as well, is basically what I'm saying.
Okay.
So, but like I said, I mean, I could tell you all night long how hot and sexy you are, but you have to believe it yourself, and that's like me, there's a lot of times I'm like, take it or leave it, I'm not attractive, or this, that, and I don't know where I'm going with that, but well, I mean, because it's like you always tell, you're attractive, but I mean, it's kind of being biased.
Yeah, I suppose so. We try to be attracted to each other, so I think other people should be.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. I don't know where he's even going.
I don't know. It's a weird night. Sorry, folks. It's just he's I think he's sick delirious and martini delirious. I don't know.
No, I was trying to prove
and I
a
can't
point
seem
there.
to focus very well. But
I was trying to make a point there somewhere.
Okay.
Hopefully somebody got it. I don't
hope
know.
so.
I know you did.
I
know when I talk, it goes in one ear out the other.
No, I did get some of it. Yeah. So we have any more questions or?
No, that was it for tonight.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Did we miss anything tonight,
Pleasure
Producer
concepts.
David?
No.
Nothing at all. We give out all the links. We give out the
Pleasure.
Oh yeah. Let's go ahead and we'll do our other sponsor tonight. Pleasure Concepts is our other sponsor, and he's sick. I think he got me sick. That's why I had a fever. He called me tonight. He was like, "Hey, do you want me to drop another toy off?" I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'm a little mad because I'm sick. I've been running a fever for the last 2 days.
I got the flu shot, so I'm going.
Yeah. But check them out. The Pleasure Concepts. They do the swings, and they got toys and all the other good stuff there.
And I
so
think his website, he's working.
Well, he's working on it. I keep saying that every week. It's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress, right?
Yeah. So other than that, I think that's really all I got. Do you have anything else? I know like I said, you're not going to be here this weekend.
No.
So I'm going to be running solo, which is going to be weird for me because I'm not used to being away from you.
I'll get a lot of phone calls while I'm gone.
No, I ain't going to call you one time. I'm not going to bother you. But, yeah, I'll probably call you.
He lies.
Yeah, I know.
You know what, though?
I don't want to be selfish and say I want you to stay with me.
Actually, in that particular time, I'll need all his support I can get. And I think the fact that, I know that he really misses me and, kind of is going to struggle a little bit is going to make this situation much easier. So, yeah. And I love him, and he knows that. And so, yeah, call me as much as you want.
Okay. What's your number again? All right, guys. Well, we will. I guess we will be back next week.
Yeah.
sometime next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be doing another one. It's kind of weird tonight.
It is.
I don't know. It's kind of a little off, but
That's okay.
I don't think we had any other questions come in, so we will go ahead and sign off, and we will see you guys all next week. So thank you guys for tuning in.
Thanks,
and
guys.
we will talk to you all later. Good night.
Good night.